静姐，有家长问到我，为什么我们来马来西亚的话，就要来参观双威国际学校呢？
对，因为双威它的历史的发展呢，因为它是先有了大学，后来有了国际学校，所以呢，其实国际学校它有它自己非常不一样的地方，它有很多条路径，然后设计课程来让它协助最终孩子要导向大学的升学啊，所以呢，其实我们看到有我们的加拿大课程，有 IB 课程，还有英式的课程体系。
那今天我们再去找一下，看有哪位老师来帮我们解释一下。
好呀，我们去看看能找到谁。
好，
你好，
嗨，
可以帮你吗？
可以。Jeffrey， 我想问到的，您第一个问题呢，就是现在在马来西亚的众多的国际学校里面，只有双威呢还在坚持使用加拿大课程，这是一个什么原因呢
Yeah, that's correct. It's the only Canadian certified school in Malaysia. It's been open about 20 years now, and it's been a big success, and it's been a growth journey, just like school is a growth journey for our students. The first campus was over on the university, and it was in the engineering building, and it was very, very small. And it was a very lovely small community, and now we're in this new state-of-the-art facility that Sunway has invested so much money in. There certainly does go in a lot of vision into it. And when we look at the vision of the school and what Sunway thought, I think it marries together very well with the larger Sunway community. If you don't know the story of Sunway City, a few decades ago this was just a mining town and a pit, and there wasn't much here, and you look around now and it's entire beautiful city with professionals from all over the world here doing so many jobs, and it's fascinating. And you look at the school here as well, it's the same mindset and the same vision with the Canadian school in regards to forward thinking and preparing for the future. The Canadian curriculum is very student-oriented, student-centered. We understand that each student is an individual and learns differently, and the Canadian curriculum modifies and gives teachers the agency to accommodate and adjust for each individual student, to build for a better future and be forward-thinking. And that's really the vision. Again, it's not the vision just of the school per se, but the larger Sunway community, building for the future, thinking about our children's future. And again, it's the only Canadian school in Malaysia. It's the only school that can say that, and we're very proud of that.
双威国际学校呢，它是在众多的国际学校里面课程体系设计的最丰富的一所学校。比如说，它有加拿大课程 OSSD， 有 IB 课程，有英式的课程。那我们来到学校，我们的孩子应该怎么样去选择这个课程体系呢
No, thank you for your question. It's a very popular question, and students and parents will often get into the mindset of what is right and what is wrong. And when it comes to this question as well, which is the best program to join, that's not the right mindset to take. It's really about which is the best program fit for each individual student. Some, the Cambridge is a very good fit, and for other students it will be the Canadian program. In regards to which students fare best in the Canadian program, the easy answer is all students, whether they're traditional focused and they love examinations, or they love projects and presentations, both of those students do well. However, the program itself is more modified to assess all areas of learning with students and how they demonstrate their understanding of their curriculum. There is more of a modern approach to assessment in regards to presentations, class debates, essays, projects, and also traditional examinations. Where other programs here in the city, it may be more of a traditional focus on just examinations. Again, it's not that one is better or worse than the other, but they are just different. And for when it comes to students choosing which program they would want to do, it's not thinking about what is right or wrong or the best one. It's about knowing themselves, how they excel in school, and which program is the best fit for them. The Canadian program, with a very modern approach to assessment, is very oriented to those students who may get a bit stressed out on exams sometimes, but do a phenomenal job of contributing in the classroom and in the school community. The Canadian program is very rewarding for those students.
对，那就延伸刚才的那个话题，就是说我们的加拿大课程相对来说，它有一半是我们的课业，一半是学校的表现。那么它相对来对语言要求会低一点。那么同时呢，家长又有了一个新的疑问，那么他未来在升大学的方向是不是会更加窄啊？这个问题是怎样
Yeah, thank you for your question. I'm glad you asked that. It's a common question that we get here on campus. The easy answer is that that's not correct. The Canadian program is universally recognized around the world, countries in Europe, down to Australia, North America, of course. As we mentioned in an earlier question, the Canadian program is more modern in regards to its assessment, and it's not as traditional. And sometimes with parents, this can make them a little bit uncomfortable in regards to how the program is recognized. We are comfortable with what we know, and we can feel a bit uneasy with something that we don't fully understand. And with parents who may come from a traditional background, they may think that this more modern approach to assessment may not be as valuable. But as I always point out with numerous examples, we have alumni from the Canadian program that have went to National University of Singapore, a couple of the top universities in Australia, a couple have went to Russell Group universities in the UK. We're all very proud of them having come out of the Canadian program and recognizing us on the global stage. Not to go too far into the details, when universities do compare the Canadian program with a more traditional accreditation such as an IGCSE A level, they may make a bit of a difference when it comes to the required grades to get into a university. For example, a top-tier university may require a score of 41 for an engineering program in the IBDP. However, from the Canadian program, they may require a 93 or a 94% average. Parents may look at that and think that it's two different standards in regards to the accreditations, but that's not correct. It's just an adjustment made by universities so that each program is weighted equally. Again, it's not that it's not recognized, there just may be a different set of standards when it comes to the entry criteria. From my experience, that's where that misunderstanding can come from. But again, so many of our alumni of the past and more alumni to come in the future are proof that the Canadian program is universally recognized by top-tier universities.
Jeffrey， 你在这10几年，其实在很多国家执教过，那为什么现在选择停留在马来西亚呢
So I've been teaching internationally now for just over 10 years. I graduated from University in Ontario, Canada, with a double degree in psychology and history. But oddly, after I graduated, I didn't plan on teaching whatsoever. I really just wanted to travel the world and pretend that I wasn't getting any older maybe. But while traveling, I taught ESL in China in an after-school tuition center for 1 year up in Harbin in the northeast there. And it was a really special experience. I enjoyed it. So I learned that about 6 months into that job that I knew I wanted to be a teacher. And after that 1 year, I went back to Canada. I attended Teachers College. I worked in London for a couple of years, London in the UK, and then after that, while I was in China, I traveled Southeast Asia. And the food and the weather are perfect compared to Canada. So when I was in London, I knew I wanted to work in Southeast Asia for a couple of years, and as luck has it, I ended up in Penang, Malaysia. And I've been in Malaysia now for just over 10 years, and I mean, it's a tough place to leave once you get here. It's a beautiful country. The people are very, very kind. It's culturally as rich a place you're going to find. The food is fantastic. I really like the outdoors as well. And while Kuala Lumpur is beautiful, a 20-minute drive, you can go trekking in the hills as well. And in regards to how long I'll stay here, I don't have any plans of leaving. I think you know, when you get older in your career, you do realize the importance of what people say of having to find a school that's the right fit for you, and just not a school finding the right teachers to fit with it. And when you're younger, you don't think much of that, but when you get older, you realize the importance of it. And I look at Sunway and the community here. I'm Canadian. The Canadian school, I just really enjoy working here. I would tie in one other part to that. One thing I learned quite a bit from my first teaching job in Harbin and bringing that learning experience here is when I was teaching Chinese students English back in China. You know, they only learned English in that one classroom for 3 hours a week, and as soon as they left the classroom, well, Harbin's Harbin, there's not much English in the streets. So their progress was limited in some ways, despite them being very high ability and very motivated. They were wonderful students. They didn't have the environment to really allow their English to excel. And when I compare those students in Harbin to our international students here, and particularly the Chinese students, I can really see the amount of progress that they make with their English here. Not just because they're hardworking, but the community as well in Kuala Lumpur is very English friendly, and that's really important, not just for me. I'm afraid I only speak English and some Chinese, but for our students as well. It allows them to progress well in English a lot quicker. It's one of what makes it a very popular destination for them, and a lot of them want to go to university in Australia or Europe, and this is just an excellent environment for them to really master their English skills so they have success.
对于这一段我就特别的认可啊，因为我们8年前来到马来西亚也是来到马来西亚感觉是不能离开了啊。8年我们孩子从国内2年级到这边4年级，有的已经大儿子已经上大学了，二儿子现在11年级这个阶段，我觉得他们无论是从他们的兴趣爱好、他们的英语能力、他们的学术能力和对于自己未来的规划，其实都是在这个国际教育的这个体系里面成长起来的。对于家庭来说，我们也是受益匪浅，在这8年里。所以呢，我也希望这样的非常多元的国际教育环境能够给我们的中国家庭提供更多的价值。我们中国的孩子来到马来西亚，因为进入到全英文的环境，它的语言差距是比较大的。我想了解学校是怎么样帮助我们这些孩子做语言提升，进入到常规课程。
Yeah, thank you for that. We do have a lot of students that come from China, Korea, Japan, and other countries where their English is still at a developing level, where academically they are very, very strong. And I feel this is one of the best schools that you could come to in the city in regards to how we support those students. First of all, we have an EIP program here in school, which students get intensive English support before they go into the mainstream so that they're taken care of. The class sizes are much smaller. The teachers have much more one-to-one time with those students. It allows them not to just build their confidence, their English, but their confidence as well around the school community and in the larger city itself. And with the English intensive program, it's not just with the English support that they get, but they also do arts classes. There's a cooking and nutrition class. There are also PE classes that complement them as well. So yes, we know that students want to go into the mainstream as soon as possible. However, we do make the modifications so that they do enjoy their time in the EIP. Once they go into the mainstream Canadian program, as I've said a couple of times, it is more moderate in regards to its assessment and the amount of agency that is given to teachers to accommodate for the students, because we understand that all students do learn differently. And with the English language support in the Ontario Canadian program, there are 3 different levels of ESL classes, so students don't need to feel rushed in going into a particular level of English. They will progress at the rate that they are able to progress at, and the system of the Canadian program is there to accommodate them. Another advantage of the Canadian program for students who are developing their English, as you say, they may be academically very strong, and therefore to get into university they would need a first language English credit. With a more traditional system, they may not have that opportunity. They would have to do ESL. Within the Canadian system, students can take extra English classes, so once they are able to graduate out of ESL, they can then move into English first language. This is a system within the Canadian school that not other schools can say, and that's why it's an outstanding fit for these students who are academically very, very strong. They should be in a top-tier university. They deserve to be in a top-tier university. They just need more time and support to develop their English, and the Canadian system can provide that support for them.
我最喜欢问到每一位校长的一个问题呢，就是您认为什么样的学校才是一个好的国际学校？
No, tough question. Thank you for that. I think the key word in that question is great, not good. You know, there's a lot of very good international schools are growing very quickly around the world. There are a lot of very good schools, but the difference between a good school and a great school and about going above and beyond, it's not about the fundamentals. A company like Sunway, we take all of that for granted. We have extremely high expectations. It's how do you go above and beyond to reach that real, proper, top-tier international school and international school experience. For me, it comes down a lot to character and community. You know, we have the highest expectations of our teachers to be able to deliver the curriculum, to assess students, to make differentiation and accommodations for them. But a great teacher is a teacher who knows not just each and every individual student, but also knows them as children, how they are feeling, able to support them pastorally, know when they're not having a good day, know when they may need to have an intervention with something that's bothering them. So caring not just for the student and their grade, but taking care of the child as well. That top tier character that we're looking for in our teachers and in our people, and that transitions not just from one teacher and their character, but to the wider community. A great international school has a great community, and that involves all stakeholders, just not teachers and leaders, but parents, the students, the non-academic staff as well. People that come into work because they love being here, they wouldn't want to be anywhere else. They are looking out to the person on their left and their right, taking care of them because they care about the community, and they expect that from their fellow workmates and friends here in school. And I think when you have a community like that, that focuses on just not let's get a top grade, let's get into a top university, but let's take care of each other as well, and wanting the best for each other, that, in my opinion, I've been teaching over 10 years now. I've worked in good schools, and this is a fantastic school, and I've worked with great teachers, and I've worked with other teachers who bring other qualities to the table. And from my experience over the years and the different countries I've taught in, that is what makes a top-tier great school. It's the character that the people bring into the school and the community that they build together.
这是我听到的很温暖的一段关于好学校的理解啊，所以非常感谢我们的校长。那双威呢，其实是在马来西亚已经是一个非常悠久品牌的国际学校，而且呢，它为了孩子们的升学呢，其实设计了很多的课程体系，来支持到孩子未来走向他自己的一个人生和选择。所以呢，我们其实，在双威我们看到的各个课程体系，加拿大课程、英式课程、IB 课程，会根据孩子的不同的需求和孩子的这个语言能力，学校会给出一个最佳的解决方案，协助我们的孩子从国内的环境转轨到国际教育以后，并且能够很好衔接到未来的大学选择。所以今天非常谢谢校长您的时间，感谢您，谢谢。
Thank you. Thanks to UNM Consultancy for meeting with me here in the library. It was delightful to talk with you and share our experience here at Sunway. We're really, really proud of what we do here. Hope you found the interview helpful, and if you have any questions, we're friendly and we'd be happy to help. Yeah, take care.